Alright, lads, so the first anniversary livestream for Jujutsu Kaisen Phantom Parade is wrapped up, and with that, we got 3 new characters to talk about. Within that livestream, they actually announced a lot of cool stuff, a new power-up system, new content, and they even confirmed the Shibuya story arc coming to the game in early 2025. There's definitely a lot to look forward to, but for the sake of this video, let's just solely focus on the 3 new characters. And the first new character to kickstart the anniversary, not technically, he's like the prelude to the anniversary, celebrating the original story finishing. We have a new SSR Kaito Yuki. Now, he might not be the most exciting character, he is an original character after all. However, in the week that I've been playing the global version, Kaito has definitely bigged up his name quite a bit, especially with the fact that his rare and SR character is actually really good. So the idea that he's getting an SSR, I feel like he deserves it. And with that, you can expect him to be a really good support, and that's exactly what this character is. So first up, let's have a look at his auto skill. So we have Cursed Energy support. If own Cursed Energy is 30 or above, recover all allies' Cursed Energy by 5. This does not recover his own Cursed Energy, and obviously it's from the second turn onwards. And this, in my opinion, is actually quite powerful, especially because it's an auto skill. He just has to have Cursed Energy, and he's naturally recovering it for all your allies. The rare Kaito has been a very good support with the idea that he can recover Cursed Energy, but he has to activate a skill to get that. This one, while it does have a requirement, it is for the most part just an auto skill. Speaking of his skills though, his first skill is going to deal hybrid damage to one particular enemy, while also increasing all yellow type characters' damage. And this unfortunately does not apply to himself, but at the very least it is giving his allies really good damage. We don't know the multipliers with these skills, but nonetheless, a damage increase is always going to be welcomed. Ideally, in any team, you are going to want to have 2 supporters, and he's going to fulfill that role for the most part, increasing your damage output while also potentially increasing the amount of Cursed Energy you can have. Now, if you haven't seen a lot of new characters in the Japanese version, they definitely around the middle of the year start to go into a meta where characters are increasing damage output for specific attributes, yellow, blue, red, green, for example. Later on in the tower game mode, you are going to be encouraged to build teams within an attribute, and that's where characters like this are going to shine in mono yellow teams. And yellow right now has access to some really good characters. You have Teen Gojo, Megami, and of course an upcoming character we'll talk about in a minute. His second skill is going to recover all allies' Cursed Energy by 14. However, if his own Cursed Energy is 30 or above, he will lose 5 Cursed Energy himself. So there's going to be a negative effect to this if you are stacking your Cursed Energy. But nonetheless, like I said, the rare Kaito has a very similar ability, able to recover the Cursed Energy for your allies. It's a really good skill, and I'm glad to see this Kaito has a very similar effect on top of being able to buff your character's damage output. So you get to pick and choose what you do want to use. Both skills seem valuable here, and this already is setting him up to be one of the best supports, especially for mono yellow teams. And then we have a look at his ultimate, Yuki Tensho. Deals melee damage to a targeted enemy, so a single target attack, while also increasing all allies' Curse technique and also yellow characters' Curse technique as well. So you could use this character in general teams using multiple different attributes. If you are using a mono yellow team, they're getting that Curse technique buff twice. But that's not all though, because Kaito will then also reduce his Cursed Energy cost for his skills, so he gets to use them more, assuming his Cursed Energy is maybe getting a tad bit low. But then that could also allow him to potentially be above 30 Cursed Energy more often, to then give your other allies more Cursed Energy. So from what I'm seeing here, even if the translation is not 200% accurate, he's looking to be a pretty good character. Really good support for just general teams, but if you put him into a mono yellow team, he's going to make the team even better. And keep this character in mind when we talk about the next character, because I feel like he's going to be really needed for our first anniversary Yuji. Now this Yuji in particular, because I was wondering when he did get leaked a couple of days ago, what part of the story is this character from? And it's from the original story. So technically this is an original Yuji, but it's nothing that you've never seen before. It's just him locking in, hitting black flashes. And this character is very unique in the way he is designed, because he is going to be a transforming character. Once you do use your ultimate, which is a big part about this character, he will enter a zone state where his whole skill set does change. So let's talk about that. As you'll see here, ultimate is Black Flash, deals immediate physical damage to a targeted enemy, and enters a zone status for 2 times, so 2 turns. And the special part about this is that once you are in this zone state, at the start of the turn, if you're in a zone state, you can perform an additional attack. So you get to use 2 skills in 1 turn, and you're in this zone state for 2 turns, so you get to use 4 skills overall, which is absolutely crazy. That in of itself is also going to eat up a lot of Cursed Energy, and that's why it's maybe important to have Kaito in the team, because remember, they're both yellow characters, and Kaito is constantly giving Cursed Energy. We don't know, again, the damage multipliers for this character, but you can probably assume it's going to be very high, especially considering the fact that he is a single target focused character. And if you want to get the most out of this character, you are going to want to have a way to constantly give this character curse energy. And again, that's where Kaito does come in. Keep in mind though, of course, when you are in this zone state, you cannot use an ultimate, but that's quite given. With that said though, let's have a look at the character's skills because the character starts to make a bit more sense. We have Determination Blow. Skill number 1 will deal melee physical damage to one particular enemy. And then his second skill will recover his ultimate gauge. And I really like the idea that he does have that second skill because the character is best performed. You ideally want this character, especially in a boss stage or something where you're going to do most of your damage. You want him to be in the zone state. And having a skill that can increase his ultimate gauge, I'm very curious to see how much percentage that will actually go up by. Because if you can activate an ultimate in like 2 to 3 turns, that would be absolutely crazy. But having this skill is definitely going to make the most out of this zone state. Really do like that. But of course, these skills won't be useful when you're in the zone state, because once you are in that zone state, how many times am I going to say that in this video? His skills will change. In this case, his first skill is still going to be a melee physical attack, but of course it is going to be doing more damage. And the second skill, instead of charging up his ultimate, it's now going to increase his physical damage. And since you can use 2 skills in 1 turn, you can spend that first attack increasing the damage that you do with your physical attacks, and then you can let off a very powerful attack on the second attack. That's not all though, because this character also has an additional effect where if you do use an additional attack during a zone state, you will get a particular buff. So the very first turn, if you use 2 skills, on that second skill that you use, you'll get an additional effect where you increase your critical rate and also black flash rate. So very likely that second attack there is going to do a lot of damage because it has a higher chance to get a black flash and also a critical. Very reminiscent, to be fair, of the original Yuji that we have in game. I like that similarity with this unit. And then on the second turn, once more if you use 2 skills, you would then increase your own damage dealt. So we're just seeing some crazy stuff here. Again, it's going to get crazy once we find out the whole damage multipliers and the damage that he actually can dish out. But considering the fact that it is an anniversary unit and it's strictly a single target, you can probably expect some crazy damage with this unit. Personally, I'm really liking the way he is designed. Being able to use 2 skills in 1 turn sounds like a lot of fun. And I've been quite vocal on the channel. One of my favorite units in the game right now is Yuji. So the idea that we're getting a new one, a more powerful one that seems consistent too. Consistently hitting criticals and also black flashes. And animation-wise, he looks cool. I guess I'll play it on screen right now. We did get a brief demo of how this character does look. One thing I did actually realize is the cost for that first skill is actually quite expensive. So, like I said, Kaito is really going to be a character you want to have to unlock the full potential of this unit. Because otherwise, you might not be able to, use multiple skills, especially back-to-back for 2 turns, right? This character very well might have a curse energy problem, and Kaito does make that better. Right now, though, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Definitely excited to see how he is going to perform it once we do get him over on the Japanese version. But then let's talk about Man of the Hour. Remember, we're not just playing Phantom Parade, we're playing Gojo Parade, because right now we have gotten our 4th Gojo in over a year. And this one is using his domain expansion, so let's talk about it. So this Gojo in particular is going to be a red type character. Expected, we have a Gojo now in every attribute. And I'll be honest, right from the get-go, he looks absolutely crazy. So first up, let's have a look at his ultimate using his domain expansion. In this case, it's going to stun all enemies, inflict infinite void status, which right now I don't believe we really know what that does. But alongside that, it will also decrease their ultimate count by 1, which actually sounds pretty good. After you do use your ultimate, I believe both Gojo and the enemies cannot charge their ultimate. I'm not sure for how many turns, but essentially no one's getting their ultimate off. And Gojo will also apply a damage taken increase buff, so your team can do more damage. However, once you do use your ultimate, it will limit Gojo's skill set. So his first and second skill will not be able to be used, and you're only going to be able to rely on your just normal attack, your, basic attack. This is to nerf Gojo a tad bit, but it makes sense too. And in all honesty, I don't think it's going to even be that big of a drawback. He's still going to be able to do good damage right after using his ultimate. But one thing to keep in mind too, it does say here that it will actually increase his emergency auto skill. Now this character, like Hollow Purple Gojo, like the original Gojo we have right now in the global version, after a certain number of turns, this character will leave the field. So it's something we're accustomed to, and upon using your ultimate, you will actually increase the amount of turns you can stay, which I think is really cool. What's even cooler, and it's not stated in this graphic, is that he will only leave the field after 10 turns. So he's actually going to be here longer than the other two Gojos that we have that leave the field after 7. And his ultimate will let him stay in the field even longer. So this already is looking to be the potential new best Gojo. The best part about every Gojo, by the way, is that they're all in different attributes. So while you can only bring one Gojo per team, you still want to pull all 4 Gojos and use them in all different separate teams, which I think is pretty cool. But let's quickly look at the skill set that he does have. So skill 1 is blue. It's going to be a cast attack dealing damage to all enemies while also decreasing the damage they can deal back to you. Obviously, you cannot use this skill right after you use your ultimate. And then his second skill is going to be red. Kind of crazy that this is now a skill when the original one has it as an ultimate. And this one is going to be a single target attack while also increasing your cast attack. Likewise, you cannot use this after you use your domain expansion. So again, we have no idea what the damage numbers and multipliers are going to be looking like, but it's a Gojo. You can expect some crazy stuff here. Once more, like the way this character is designed. A Gojo with an AoE attack sounds very powerful in my opinion. And it looks like the ultimate that he does have, you probably don't even need to use it when you instantly get it. I feel like his skill 1 and 2 is going to be good enough during most content. And then maybe when he's about to leave or when you go to a boss fight and you want to stall the boss more so, you can then let off your ultimate. It will let Gojo stay in the field for 1 turn longer and also apply a bunch of effects, stun the enemy, and let your teammates do more damage. Honestly, it sounds really cool. I'm liking what I'm seeing for all 3 anniversary characters. Well, more so Yuji and Gojo are the anniversary characters. And with that, by the way, these 2 characters are going to be limited. Yuji's limited, Gojo's limited, whereas Kaito, I believe, is going to go to the standard banner after a certain period of time. Which I think is good, because you're going to need Kaito alongside Yuji. In my opinion, obviously we are a while away before this does come to global. I would be more inclined from what I'm seeing right now. Again, opinions can change once they both come to the game. I would be more inclined to pull for Gojo. 1, because it's Gojo, using his domain. Like, come on, that's so cool. But I feel like to get the most out of Yuji, I'm going to want to pull for Kaito, and I'm not pulling for Kaito right before an anniversary. It's that simple. Gojo looks to be a self-contained unit, someone that is going to be great right from the get-go, whereas Yuji, I'm sure, is going to be amazing, but gets even better with, again, this really good support unit. And you're going to want to have Kaito anyway, regardless of Yuji. He looks to be great anyway. But with the pity in this game, I'm not trying to pull him for, I'm not trying to pull him 3 banners. I'm really not. Luckily, though, this is going to be quite a while away, and right now, my summon plan on both my free-to-play and whale account is to probably summon for Yuta, who should be coming out in December, then save for the half anniversary probably, and then after half anniversary, you save all the way till the anniversary. So you have plenty of time to save up and probably gather enough cubes for both Yuji and also Gojo, because they both look like fun units. And it's also probably worth mentioning too, both of these characters have a skin, which I did cool. I mean, the second I saw skins added to the game, when that was leaked a couple days ago, I knew instantly we were going to get a Gojo, because I know for a fact they wanted to put him in a suit as soon as possible. And we'll be able to do that through this new skin system. Animation-wise, they'll basically look the exact same. They're just going to be in a suit, which is going to be kind of funny looking at a dapper Gojo activating a domain. Animations don't seem to change, but it's an optional thing if you want to do it. And from the looks of it, it doesn't seem like they're monetizing the skins at the very least. They might do that in the future, but they're usually one we can get through the event. With Gojo's skin, we really don't know how we're going to unlock it. It could be paid, it could be through another event. We really don't know. That also brings the question, is there going to be a part 3? I'm really not too sure. Half Anniversary did have a part 3. Part 1 was Gojo, Part 2 was Geto, Part 3 was Toji. Is this going to have a Part 3? I'm going to assume no, because while Kaito's not really part of the anniversary, he is there. He is there. And on a roadmap they do provide on the live stream, they do say that the next big character reveal is going to be during Jump Festa, which is more so near the end of the year. So while there might not be a part 3, there's definitely going to be quite the big character. Who could that be? I'm not sure. Released near the end of the year. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm getting this out a tad bit late because I had to spend time making the graphic. I wanted to make the video look a bit more presentable, especially considering it's the first anniversary. And it's still so funny to me that we're talking about a first anniversary for a game when Global literally only came out like last week. But either way, in the comments below, let me know what character you're most excited for. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care and peace.